Am I the asshole for not moving out of the property my parents gave me so that my golden child's sister, her husband, and kid can move in? My 34 female sister, 31 female, was the first among 4 siblings to have a kid, 5 female. My niece is incredibly spoiled by my sister, our parents, and extended family, and my parents bend over backwards for my sister's requests, like canceling their anniversary trip because my sister asked them to babysit while she went on a girls' weekend. This spring, my boyfriend and rock in my life passed away. At the same time, I lost my job. I had a lot going on and I moved back to my hometown. My parents owned a rural property that they used to rent out. The property had been empty for a while and fairly run down. My parents invited me to stay there rent-free and told me that it was my home for as long as I needed it. I invested a lot of my time and money into getting the house fixed up. I found a remote gig. I also made friends with Ola, a Ukrainian refugee with a young daughter. Ola was struggling and I invited her to stay with me for a couple of months while she got back on her feet. I could use some company as well. She was very thankful but hasn't made a firm response yet as she's trying to make things work independently. My parents had no issue with this until recent drama. My brother-in-law had been working for a shady company with skirted regulations for profit. The law caught up with the owner who folded the company and left the country. I'll cut this short given the post character limit. A few other things went down and my sister's family abruptly moved to our hometown, moving in with my parents. Almost immediately, my parents and my sister approached me to swap. I would move in with our parents and my sister and her family would take my place. They said the house that I lived in was too large for one person and it would be so much better for my niece to live on a beautiful property in nature. Y'all should have thought about that when I was the only person moving into the house when the motherfucker was falling apart. The house was the same size when it was falling the fuck apart and I moved in and spent my own money to fix it. You should have thought about that shit then. Absolutely not. I'm not going anywhere. I didn't understand. My parents have 2 guest rooms. My sister and brother-in-law and the kid could have their own bedrooms. I sure didn't at 5. My brother-in-law is still loaded from his old job and could easily get them a place too. Instead, they're buying a flashy car. When I mentioned my work on the property, it was dismissed. When I reminded them about Ola, my parents were outraged that I was still intent on helping someone else and their child and not my own sister and niece. They kept making out my sister's situation to be as nearly as bad as Ola's. I call fucking bullshit. Ola is a refugee. Your sister and her family are running from the law. It's not the same fucking situation. They did something wrong and now are running from people that are coming and looking for them. They're running from probably the IRS and a whole bunch of other motherfuckers. It's not even close to the same situation because Ola doesn't have anything while you guys have enough money to buy a flashy car, meaning you can afford to find somewhere to go. You just want what you can get for free, regardless of who that's going to put out. Eventually, it came down to my parents saying, "You're living on our property. You'll do as we want." I said, "Well, you gave it to me and said this was my house as well, to be my home for as long as I need. But if we want to talk in property terms and not family terms, evict me then." My parents are not evicting me, but I receive daily calls and messages from them and extended family, guilt-tripping me and calling me an asshole for not giving up the more comfortable space to my sister, who's in such a difficult situation and has a little child. Only my brothers see my side, but since they're young men in college, their opinion means nothing to my family. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole at all. Not at all, because it seems like your family is ignoring the fact that your entire life has been turned upside down within the course of the last few months. You said that your boyfriend passed this spring. It's only August. So within that time, you lost the love of your life, had to bury them, lost your job, had to move back home. You were given a dilapidated and rundown property that you fixed up with your own money yourself. And now, because your sister needs it more, they're expecting you just to get up and leave after telling you this is your home for as long as you need it. My needs don't erase just because your golden child here has needs as well. Needs that she can cover on her fucking own, that her husband can cover. But instead, you guys want to put me out. No, absolutely not. I will fucking not. Your family fucking sucks. Now it's time for you to decide if this is what you want to continue dealing with. Like, you've just been able to get a sense of security back after losing so much in a really small period of time. And your parents are showing you where their loyalties lie. They lie with your sister. They could care less how you feel and what you're going through. Like, you've lost so much and they're already willing to take something else from you that you've already put a lot of hard work and money into. You have to decide if the harassment from your parents and these extended family members is worth it. Like, your sister and her husband put themselves in a situation by doing some shady shit. And instead of your family holding them accountable, telling them you have all this money, that you need to go ahead and take care of your family, they're telling you that you need to move and make it easier for them because they're in a really bad situation that they put themselves in. Your family could not show you anymore how much they fucking suck. And you need to make the decision if it's something that you want to continue to put up with. Me, because I'm petty and I'm an asshole like that, if I still had receipts, every single time I was sent a message or something, I would start sending back receipts. Okay, well, since you guys want me to move, I need every penny that I put into this house. That way I can move out. Then you don't have to worry about me coming to your house. Pay me what I put in on this property and I will happily move somewhere else and you guys won't have to worry about it no more. Like, but that's just because I'm an asshole. Not everybody's like me, but that's what I would do. Am I the asshole for giving my wedding dress to my future daughter-in-law instead of my stepdaughter? I, 42 female, got married 24 years ago. I decided that if I had a daughter, I would pass the dress and accessories on to her. I chose a simple, elegant dress rather than what was fashionable at the time because I wanted something timeless that people could wear for generations to come. I had my son, Mark, now 22, a year after. His father passed away when he was young. I raised Mark as a single mom for several years. I decided that when Mark got married, I would give my dress and accessories to his wife. When I was 33, I met Rob, now 52. I fell in love with him and we quickly got married. He became a great father figure for Mark and I was so excited to have a stepdaughter, Molly, now 24. My relationship with Molly had a rocky beginning. I've been patient and gentle with her. I've offered to take her shopping or to get her nails done. I asked Rob about her favorite foods and made sure to cook those. She made it clear that she didn't see me as her real mom. Years passed and I never changed the way I treated Molly. My door was always open for her, but she never changed the way she thought about me. She called me a trophy wife to my face. If I ever threw a charity event, she would remark, "Wow, you're so generous with my dad's money." While she didn't exactly say anything explicitly, I could tell she looked down on me for not having a college degree. A couple of years ago, I made a final offering to Molly. I brought her into my closet and I showed her the dress and accessories. I told her that I would love for her to wear them at her wedding. Some alterations would have to be done as I'm 5'9" and a size 4. Molly is 5'4" and a size 8, but we could definitely make it work. Molly scoffed and said that I had archaic values and that the dress was trashy and walked out. No, you're not the asshole. You're not the asshole. Why would you be the asshole for not giving something to someone who said they didn't want it out of their own fucking mouth? What? No, you're not the asshole. What Molly said really hurt because she knew what the dress meant to me and she didn't care. After that, I stopped making as much of an effort to build a relationship with her. 2 months ago, Mark proposed to his college sweetheart, Lucy, with whom I have a great relationship. When Lucy mentioned dress shopping, I showed her my dress. Lucy tried it on and it fit like a glove. She fell in love with it and I told her the dress, shoes, and accessories were hers. She was so happy, she literally cried. I love that so much. It fit her like a glove. It was meant to be passed on to her. Like, I love that so much. You're gonna make me cry. A couple of days ago, Molly reached out to me out of the blue to ask if the dress was still available. I told her that I had given it to Lucy. She asked if I could get it back from Lucy because I offered it to her first. I told her, 1, she said she didn't want it, and 2, it fits Lucy perfectly, and 3, Lucy is the only one getting married within the foreseeable future. Molly, girl, go touch some fucking grass right now. She's only asking for the dress because she knows that you've given it to Lucy. That's the only reason she's asking for it. She wants it because she don't want nobody else to have it. After she went out of her way to hurt you by saying really mean things about a dress that she knew meant the world to you. Now Molly is saying that I'm favoring Lucy over her because she's conforming to traditional standards of femininity, getting married and being thin. That's absolute baloney. But it got me thinking that if the roles were reversed and Lucy was the one asking for the dress after initially turning it down, would I give it to her? Is Molly right that I'm favoring Lucy? Am I the asshole? Girl, no. You are not the asshole. You are not the asshole for giving Lucy your wedding dress. And honestly, even if you were favoring Lucy over Molly, so fucking what? So fucking what? Molly has been nasty to you your entire marriage. Why do you fucking care? Why? You're not mistreating her. You are matching energy. She's gone out of her way to say nasty and mean things to you. Now she's upset that you are treating someone who treats you with kindness with the same fucking kindness that they deserve. Get the fuck out of here. And this bullshit about conforming to traditional standards, fucking what? Fucking what? If you're not getting married, why are you putting up so much of a fight for a fucking wedding dress? This girl only wants the goddamn dress because you've already given it to Lucy. She's creating issues where there are none, and you're allowing her to get in your fucking head. Ma'am, get it together. Get it the fuck together. I guarantee you, with the fact that this bitch is not getting married, you're gonna fuck around and give this dress to her, and they're gonna end up fucking curtains. A fucking pair of panties. Like, not you letting this little bitch manipulate you. If you don't fucking knock it off. Am I the asshole for telling my friend that I can't make her wedding dress, despite making them for 2 other friends? I, 38 female, am a dressmaker, and I have my own shop. It's been a custom in my friend group that my wedding gift to my friends who marry has been an original wedding dress made to their taste. I've done this for 2 of my friends. I love my job and I love my friends, so it's always been an easy choice for me. However, I'm currently 26 weeks pregnant with my first child. I'm trying to lessen my workload as I prepare for my maternity leave and pass larger projects over to my employees. My friend informed me last night that she's getting married. I was, of course, so happy for her, and I congratulated her. She asked if I'd be making her dress for her, and I told her, of course, just to let me know when they had a date. I was told that they already had one, January 19th. That was fine. A year and 5 months. Perfect. Plenty of time to do the designs, make it, and I expressed as much to her. But then she corrected me. It wasn't January 19th, 2026, like I assumed. But January 19th, 2025, it's August. It is August. You did not ask your pregnant friend in August to custom make you a dress for January. No, you're not the asshole. Not at all. I was a bit shocked at this, and I told her that if that's the date she picked, I'd have to take back my promise because there's no way I can make her dress in that time frame, as I'll not be too long postpartum. I asked her to reconsider the date if she wanted me to make a dress, pointing out how 5 months wasn't really much of a time to plan a wedding anyway, but she insisted that was when she wanted it. I didn't push as it was up to her, but I made it clear that I will not be able to make her dress for her then. She didn't understand this at all, pointing out how I'll be taking time off work anyway, and can't I just use that time to make her dress? You'll be taking time off work anyway to prepare for your baby, so why don't you just use that time instead to work and make my dress? Why didn't I think of that? Your friend's a fucking genius. Like, what? I didn't think of that. Why didn't you just work during your time off of work to make her dress? Simple. Are you fucking kidding me? I admit in hindsight, I got a bit snappish here, and she likely didn't realize just how much work goes into making a wedding dress. But I asked her if she'd hit her head and why she would think it's okay to ask me to put stress on my pregnancy for her wedding dress. She's been putting messages in the group chat, calling me out for it, saying how it's easy to tell who my favorites are, and it's clear that her feelings are hurt. I'm annoyed, but also feeling a bit regretful about this. I can't trust my employees to make a wedding dress without me, as their skill level isn't up to that. But maybe I could have a rehearsal dinner dress made for her, or even a reception dress to soothe the hurt of her not getting the custom dress that she wants. Am I the asshole? Absolutely not. You are not the asshole. You doing this is a gift. She's not entitled to this. It don't give a fuck who you do it for and who you don't. It's up to you as the person who's making the dresses. It is up to you. It is up to you. The simple fact that she ran to the group chat to make herself a victim solidifies that she doesn't need a goddamn fucking thing from you. Not a slip, not a goddamn tablecloth, a curtain, a handkerchief, nothing. Don't make that girl a goddamn fucking thing. This girl is not your friend. She is not your fucking friend talking about, well, now I know who your favorites are. Yeah, The bitches that I know that love me, not someone who's gonna want me to ignore my pregnancy for 5 fucking months to work on their goddamn wedding dress, even though I've told them that 5 months is not enough time for me to create this goddamn dress, and I'm going on maternity leave. Like, no, she could fucking care less what's going on with you. She's only focused on her. This girl is not your goddamn friend. You said you make dresses for your friends. She doesn't fit into that goddamn category. Fuck her. You are not the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my brother and his husband they can't raise their baby in my home? I, 34 female, have always been clear about my decision to not have children. I love my life as it is, quiet, organized, and free of the responsibilities that come with parenting. I own a decent home, and I have been very particular about maintaining a calm, adult-friendly environment. My brother, 30 male, and his husband, 32 male, recently adopted a baby, which is great news for them, but that's where the issue starts. They live in a small apartment and asked if they could move in with me for about a year while they save up to buy a bigger place. They said it would be a huge help for them financially, and they assumed I'd be supportive because we were close. But I don't want a baby in my house. I've worked hard to build a child-free life that I'm happy with, and having a baby here would completely disrupt that. Absolutely not. My question is, how much are you expecting to be paying me? You're bringing 3 people in my house, 2 grown-ass adults and a baby, into my house to save money from paying rent. Are you expecting to live here rent-free? Because this is going to cost you to live here. So how much money are you truly planning to fucking save? Because I'm charging rent. 2 people and a baby moving into my house, you're not going to live here for cheap. When they asked me, I told them no, explaining that I don't want the noise, mess, or disruption of a baby in my home. I suggested they look into other options, like moving to a more affordable apartment or seeking help from his husband's family who live in the same city. My brother was shocked and said that I was being selfish and that families should help each other out, especially in times of need. You're not in a time of need, though. You're not in a time of need. It's not like you guys are being evicted and you have no choice but to find somewhere else to go. You're choosing to upgrade to a bigger place, which you should have done before you decided to adopt a baby. If you did not have enough space currently where the fuck you were at, you should have made all necessary adjustments before you got the baby. You're not in a time of need. You got somewhere to live. You're just choosing to not stay there. No, hell no. Girl, absolutely not. Hell no. Now my parents are involved. They think that I'm being unreasonable and cold-hearted. They say this is a critical time for my brother and that I should be more supportive. My brother hasn't spoken to me since I turned them down. I'm being painted as the villain of the family. I'm sticking to my decision because I know I wouldn't be happy with the baby in the house. But now I'm wondering if I'm being too rigid. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my brother and his husband raise their baby in my home? You have chosen to be child-free. You are 100% entitled to keep your home fucking child-free. It's your home. It is your home. Do not let your family, your parents, your brother, his husband, anybody guilt trip you and bully you into going back on how you fucking feel. You're not being too rigid. This is your house. This is your house. Nobody has the right to make you unhappy in your house. You know that if you were to help out your brother and his family, that you would be uncomfortable and miserable in your fucking home. If anybody's entitled to be comfortable in your home, it's you. If that means you have to not let motherfuckers come and stay, so fucking be it. Let this be your villain origin story since they want you to be the fucking villain so bad. Anybody that's telling you that you're wrong for how you feel needs to either shut up or 1, help your brother move in with them, or 2, give your brother the money that they need so that they can upgrade their home. If they're not willing to do either of those 2 things, they don't have the right to open their mouth and suggest that you do anything, tell you that you're being cold-hearted about any fucking thing. They don't get to bully you for not helping any more than they aren't helping. Don't allow people to make you feel bad for wanting to stick within your fucking boundaries. The part that's really, really pissing me off the most about this is it's not like they didn't know that somebody was pregnant and then she just, went to the doctor and they were like, oh, bitch, you don't have a kidney infection. You're actually in labor. And they're like, oh my God, we're having a baby. No, they adopted a child. These 2 men adopted a child, meaning they knew months ago months, maybe even longer. They knew this was going to happen and did not prepare for it. No, and now OP is the one that's terrible because I'm not helping you when you were the only motherfuckers that knew this was going to happen. No, hell no, baby. You're not the asshole. Not at all. Am I the asshole for not having an in-depth discussion with my sister about why I won't babysit her 2 daughters while she has her 3rd child? No, you're not. I don't have to have an in-depth discussion with you about why I'm not watching your fucking kids. Will you watch my girls? No. That's the end of it right there. No. My sister, 38 female, asked me, 26 female, if I would babysit her 2 daughters, 5 and 4, while she gives birth to her 3rd child. I told her no, because I don't feel comfortable babysitting them. My sister asked me why. I told her that the girls not getting along and all the trouble between them is more than I could handle for an unknown amount of time. I told her there was nothing that would make me more willing to babysit with these circumstances. For those wondering how bad it can be between them, it's bad. Sibling rivalry, or whatever this is, has been awful between them since they started any kind of independent play. They're very mean to each other. They get very loud together because they'll scream at each other and throw things so the other can't play with it. There's no setting where they can get along. My parents have babysat them together and they told me that it's exhausting. None of the consequences for being mean and acting out have helped them calm down. My dad said it was like 2 fighting cats and nothing short of separating them calms things down. Absolutely not. Absolutely the fuck not. I mean, you didn't even have to go into any type of explanation. You fucking said, no, that's it, that's all. But if I have to pry your children apart, no. I need you to teach your kids how the fuck they need to act when they're not at home. How they behave with you is one goddamn thing. But when they come over here, you sit the fuck down and you get along. I'm not about to be yelling and screaming at people's kids all goddamn night. No, they can't come. You are not the asshole. My sister and I went out with the girls before she got pregnant, just to have a girls' day out. I wasn't even alone with them then, and I felt out of my depth. They fought the whole day. The oldest says that she hates her sister a lot, while the youngest is the loudest during any fight or when she's expressing any issue she has with her sister. The hug it out method that my sister and her husband use never works. They refuse to touch at all, let alone hug. They can never find a hired babysitter who'll keep the girls for the agreed time. They always get called home early from dates. They've tried over 20 babysitters. Ma'am, your husband gonna have to stay home with your fucking kids, because until you guys can get this shit under control, nobody's gonna want to deal with that. You are literally paying people to babysit your children, and they have to call you home early because they can't handle the fact that your kids fight like goddamn rabid cats. You look like your husband gonna be at home and you gonna be birthing baby number 3 by yourself, Bookie. You better call your mom. You better call your mom to come in there with you. My sister is aware of the problem between her girls. She doesn't like when anyone tries to give advice about what to do. So I didn't go into more details with her when explaining why. But she said we needed to sit down and have a more in-depth discussion about my reasons, because she wants to try and figure something out, seeing as I'm the best person for the job. There's nothing to sit down and talk about in depth. Your kids do not get along. They're not coming around me fighting and screaming and throwing shit. No, they're 4 and 5 years old enough to know that shit is not okay. And that is not how we behave. No, there's nothing to fucking talk about. The in-depth discussion that needs to be had is why the fuck you're refusing to do anything about it. Why are you actively ignoring the fact that your children fight like enemies, like they were fucking on opposite sides of a war in their past life? Like, that's the in-depth discussion we need to have. Why are you guys working so hard to pretend like everyone else is the fucking problem? You don't like when people give you advice, but the hug it out method is definitely not working. Like, let's talk about that. Since we need to have an in-depth discussion, let's talk about that. That's what the fuck I would tell your sister. I told my sister that we have no reason to discuss this and that she needs to accept my no and find someone else to babysit. She told me it's too risky for her to deliver alone because she's always had complicated deliveries. Her husband needs to be beside her and not home with the girls. Okay, so if something goes wrong, what is he gonna do? Except be escorted out of the room. Like, real shit. I'm not trying to be fucking funny. I can't give birth alone because we always have complications. Clearly, your parents are still there. Your parents are still there. You can ask your mom and your daddy to come in there and hold your hand. Ask your mom and your daddy to watch the motherfucking kids. But for real, if something was to go wrong, what the fuck is your husband gonna do? I feel like he's the best person for the job to be at home with his goddamn kids. She told me that her husband needs to be beside her and not at home with the girls. So I need to talk this out with her and help her. Am I the asshole? No, you do not have to watch anyone's children if you do not want to watch anybody's fucking kids. Like, it's just that simple. Nieces or not, sister asking you to do it or not, it doesn't matter the reason. If you say no, that is the fucking answer, and something else needs to be worked out that doesn't include you. Your sister and her husband need to go to fucking therapy because they are bringing a third child into a dynamic where their first two children absolutely despise each other. Like, I know they can't possibly think everything is just gonna fucking snap into harmony with music and butterflies and shit. Like, they need fucking help. Your sister is actively pretending like this shit is not going on. You said she is aware of the problems between her fucking children. You said that she's aware of this, and you told her the problems between your children is the very reason that I do not feel comfortable babysitting them. Her response to that is, well, we need to sit down and have an in-depth discussion to figure out the reasons why. Bitch, I literally just told you the reason why out of my goddamn mouth. She's actively pretending as if everyone else is the problem and there is no fucking issue because she's letting this shit go down. And her kids are toddlers, 5 and 4. They are literal fucking babies. There's no way in hell they should despise each other this much to the point that they do not get along. 20 babysitters. 20 babysitters, the parents, and even her fucking sister don't want to watch these goddamn kids because they're so fucking bad when it comes to them being together. They need to go and figure out what the fuck is going on, not bring extra kids into the situation and not want to try to rope every other person in the world to babysitting their fucking kids.